Welcome everyone to Things Around 8. Dear friends, in this video we will talk about the escape of Venezuelan opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez, who, with the support of the Spanish Air Force, managed to escape the clutches of Nicolas Maduro's dictatorship. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any news. On the evening of Saturday, September 7th, Edmundo Gonzalez, the Venezuelan opposition leader who, according to the published minutes, won the presidential elections in Venezuela by a large margin, left Venezuela for Spain, after having gone into exile in the Spanish embassy in Caracas. According to information released by the Venezuelan dictatorship itself, Edmundo Gonzalez, who had not been seen since the elections, first took refuge in the Dutch embassy, where he remained for, allegedly, 2 months. He went into exile in the Spanish embassy, probably in early September, where he requested political asylum, which, according to the Spanish government, was accepted. And so, on Saturday night, he was taken out of the embassy in a consular vehicle and put on a Spanish Air Force plane. All of this happened just a few days after the dictator Nicolas Maduro ordered his arrest, accusing him of, among other alleged crimes, electoral terrorism, usurpation of electoral office and formation of a gang. The arrest order against Edmundo Gonzalez was just the latest in a long series of repressive measures aimed at consolidating the Chavista dictatorship led by Nicolas Maduro after the fraud in the presidential elections of July 28. As I have said in other videos here on the channel, Maduro's intention was to do in Venezuela the same thing that Vladimir Putin had done in the presidential elections in Russia in March of this year. In other words, to win the elections without resorting to explicit fraud, resorting only to the removal of his opponents. And so, just as Putin did in Russia, removing and arresting all candidates who could put his victory at risk, Maduro did the same in Venezuela, hunting down the candidacies of several candidates, notably Maria Corina Machado. However, what Maduro did not count on was the behind-the-scenes work of Maria Corina, who managed to bring together the entire Venezuelan opposition, transferring to Edmundo Gonzalez all the votes that would have been given to her in the elections. And so, thanks to this impressive work of articulation, Edmundo Gonzalez received more than twice as many votes as Nicolas Maduro, who, faced with this unexpected maneuver, had no other alternative but to radicalize the fraud, simply limiting himself to saying that he won, without presenting any proof of this. With the CNE, the body responsible for the elections and the vote count, and the Venezuelan Supreme Court, both directly controlled by the Chavista dictatorship, reinforcing the fraud, stating that Maduro won the elections, but refusing to present any proof of this. With such a level of radicalization, the opposition and society in general revolted, with Maduro responding to this revolt by increasing repression, resulting in more than 2,000 arrests, including many opposition leaders, with the arrest order for Edmundo Gonzalez being the culmination of this entire process of brutal political repression. And it was most likely because of this arrest order that Gonzalez requested political asylum from the Spanish government. At 75 years old and in fragile health, if he were arrested and locked up in the dungeons of the Chavista dictatorship, Edmundo Gonzalez might not survive. And even if he were kept alive and well cared for, he would not be able to be heard, remaining incommunicado for months or years. This would serve to reinforce the process of consolidation of Nicolas Maduro's dictatorship, which, as I have demonstrated here, is still in full radicalization. Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez said on Instagram that the entire asylum process for Edmundo Gonzalez was approved by Venezuela, a statement that seems to have been made to try to show the world that the Chavista dictatorship has everything under its control. But it is undeniable that Edmundo Gonzalez's escape from Venezuela represents a hard blow for Nicolas Maduro, who will now have no way of silencing the voice of his greatest and most powerful political opponent. With Gonzalez personifying, with maximum force, the electoral fraud carried out by Maduro in Venezuela. From Spain, Gonzalez will continue to show the world that Venezuela has become a terrible and repressive dictatorship, with Nicolas Maduro dedicated to perpetuating himself in power, whatever the cost. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any news.